And we are here streaming for the very first time. The first time you've seen my face. Um, yeah, fun stuff. So there we go. The answer to your question, Mr. Leaky, is I'm probably not gonna resist the temptation of the crazy Itos because I do have a renewed interest, I feel like right now, and at least trying to figure out what the next tuning of the year, what the next thing we're gonna study is. So for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, um, in the Zen Harmonic Alliance Discord for the last year, we've had like this group effort study thing to analyze and study a particular tuning, and we voted on, and by we I mean me and Mr. Leaky psyoped the entire server and convinced people to vote for 23 notes per octave. And we created and came up with a bunch of like cool theory, different like notation systems or chords, different ways to come up with scales, and it was really fruitful, and I learned a lot about composition and tuning theory and microtonal theory and how to compose music and really difficult stuff. Um, it's especially interesting because 23 Ito was a very like underdeveloped or not really looked at tuning because it's very bad, quote unquote, by like normal music standards. Um, which is what ended up resulting in a lot of like really cool discoveries, right? If you force yourself to work within a system that is like fundamentally messed up, you're gonna limitations and creativity, whatever, the saying and whatnot. So this upcoming year we got to do a new one, right? And so um there's two tunings of the year. There's only one I really care about, and it's the weird one. There's the normal one where you study a tuning that is quote unquote good. That might be interesting. So what we had was 22 notes per octave. So some people in the server basically like hyper focused on 22 notes per octave, came up with different like chord naming systems, different scales, ways to like switch between scales, stuff like that. And I focus more on the weird one, which is 23, because it's all fucked up and broken, because I am interested in finding and discovering new sounds. So yeah, where do I fall as far as aiming for an underdeveloped versus a tuning of interest this year? I mean, ideally it'll be some merging of both. But specifically I'm more interested in underdeveloped things because it's going to lend to new discoveries. So in particular, I'm interested in multiples of 5 and multiples of 7, simply because those are not very well looked at all, with the exception of like 15 Ito is pretty well understood, it seems, as a multiple of 5 tuning. And besides that, I'm trying to think, are there any others that are like there's 20, 21, and 25, I think, are the most interesting in my opinion. 15 and 16 are really cool, but also really already kind of well studied. So like, I feel like it's not in the spirit of like what we did last time in terms of coming up with novel and new stuff. Though it still could be really cool. What other ones did we mention? We mentioned like 28, which I don't even know anything about 28 really. Just like, I suppose on the surface it's kind of weird, though it's already starting to become a lot of notes. And then we could also do 30 and 35, which is also a lot of notes, but still very weird in that it's 35 is a multiple of both 5 and 7, and so you're splitting your perfect fifth into 5 Ito or 7 Ito, and so you have two different scales, neither of which are diatonic. And so I don't know, that's probably going to lead to like really weird and unique structures. Probably not many structures that you can generalize to other things because it's unique, but who the fuck knows. But anyways, I'm mostly interested, in multiples of 5 and 7, just because I'm not good at composing in them, and I've like kind of struggled to like figure out how to make things work in those tunings. So I don't know. That's where I'm standing at the moment. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, like 13 and 11, technically, yes, we could do. I feel like those are very weird and kind of scary. But there's not that many notes, and at least from like when I played around with it, I feel like it's kind of limited. Just because there's not that many notes. What made 23 really cool was the fact that it sucked, but also had a ton of notes, right? So something around a similar number of notes would be cool. Mr. Gordon's 35 suggestion may have been partially a joke. I don't think it was a joke, because it is really interesting in that it's like, so like 23 is a dual fifth Ito, right? And that has two notes that you can approximate a perfect fifth with, and thus you can create interesting structures. 35 is like the quintessential like dual fifth thing. Yeah, I don't like 11 or 13 because they really do feel like 22 or 26. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, not only are they like kind of limited, in my opinion, from what I've heard, I haven't explored it too much, but from what I've heard, but also it's just a subset of already existing tunings that are well understood. Anyways, here's here's like a map of all your tunings, right? So for whatever reason, sharp is this way. So this is 700 cents right here. Your fifth is at 700 cents, right? You have 12, 24, 36. These all have that same fifth. And then as you go flatter, right? Every time you add 7, you're averaging between 12 and 7, right? So 19 is an average of 12 and 7. 26 is an average between 19 and 7, and then so on and so forth. So the flatter you go, it comes like this. 23 Ito is unique in that it doesn't show, but 23 Ito has 2 fifths. There's 1 fifth here, and then there's another fifth like over here. It has 2 fifths that are like kind of far apart, and they're both outside of this diatonic zone, right? Everything within here has a 5 large, 2 small scale diatonic. 35 Ito is interesting in that both of its fifths create scales that are precisely on this boundary that still don't create diatonic or anti-diatonic or the 5 large, 3 small scale on the other side, right? Like these fifths create a unique scale, these fifths create a unique scale, everything in the middle creates a unique scale, but these fifths all just create 5 or 7 Ito. And so if you use 35, you either get 7 Ito using the flat fifth, or you get 5 Ito using the sharp fifth over here, because it's in this stack of 5 versus this stack of 7. So I feel like that could like conceptually lead to really cool results. It also probably sounds fucking weird because you know, you're stuck with either a fifth that's 20 cents sharp or like 15 cents flat. So probably sounds bad. It is a lot of notes though, so that makes me not want to use it, just because 35 is like too many notes. Like 31 I think is too many notes. So I don't know. But yeah, I think multiples of 5 or 7 I'm still definitely interested in. So I would say, yeah, 20, 21, 25, maybe 28. I don't know. Most important thing is that we present a united front and avoid schisms. I see, yes. Though if people decide on doing a thing I don't agree with, I'm for sure gonna create a schism myself. So long as everyone agrees with what I want to do, then it'll go flawlessly. So we'll be fine. Anyways, I'm gonna work on the 5/4 song. Oh, I updated this song, Mr. Leaky. So last time I streamed, I added this like syncopated polymeter polyrhythm of a kick in 4/4 over the drums in 5/4. And I ended up making the snare also like it. So I'm just gonna play from here and we'll analyze it. I need to do sound design changes. makes more 4/4. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Maybe we go like this. I just want, also, I need to change up the sound design. I'm tired of this patch. It gets kind of boring. I want something to go like yonk 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 yonk. You know, I want something like formity and really liquidy and wet and gross sounding. So I could try resampling. I went through some other project files and we got like, I'm thinking we could like cut some of these up and use these. So I mean, some of these really work as fills. Yeah, it's a really good build up, especially because like the rhythms, you know, they all like align back up. It's like a kaleidoscope, right? You got the crazy 4/4 beat. None of these really work. I'm trying to find... I just want, like, a good timbre, you know? No. Wait, like, we, like... No, none of these really... Yeah, and that's clipping. No, we'll just make our own. We'll just make our own. Though that guy kind of is cool. So, I think I tried to do it. Yeah, I did try to do it over here last night after stream. It is not. It's not going well. Like, just some shit like that. Like, I just want, what do I want? I want like a really, I just want like a really thick, really thick bass. It's like a very tippery sounding. Like tippery, schmoop, resonant language, kind of just like large. I don't know, I'm not really sure how to go about that. I guess FM. Come on. Why is it not playing the other part of the melody even? Hello. Copy, paste. Right. That's kind of crazy. Is there a way to make this wide? Can I pan filters? Can filters be panned? I don't think so. I don't think filters can be panned. That's a bummer. Yeah, we got this 4-in-1 thing. We can put a utility here. Can we not pan? Motherfucker, come on. Stereo, pan. We'll pan one filter over here, and then we'll pan this filter also in stereo over here. Yeah, Resident Language is cracked. Now, why are you... It's not really. Maybe just like a layer with the other thing. I'm not really happy with it, frankly. It's like make this more plucky. Not on the right patch. I'm a silly Billy. I'm so dumb. And then like that. Something like that. Okay, and then furthermore, the Whittler was just live streaming a bit ago, and he gave feedback on this track, and he pointed out that at least in the first drop area, shit is not everything but the drums is like not loud enough. It needs to poke through more. So he streams on Twitch. He hasn't streamed like at all in the past like year and a half or 2 years or something fucking crazy. But he just streamed again today and did like a feedback thing. And he said he's gonna keep doing it. So every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, usually around like 3 p.m. Pacific or something. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess he said he's bringing it back. So I'm really hyped about that because when I was like, I don't know, much worse than I am now, I found it super, super, super useful and I learned a lot. It was like, it's super motivating because there's like 80 to 100, something like that, producers like watching the stream who will give feedback on your stuff. It like motivates you to finish up songs and have things like in a presentable state, or like, you know, you just get feedback from like a fuck ton of people. You can also get like some exposure by doing it, you know, from other producers and stuff like that if they like your stuff. And it's just like a really cool motivating environment, which makes me think I probably should try to do something like that. The thing is, like, every time I've given feedback in my own live streams, it's just been impromptu. It's just like someone just asks me and they're like, hey, can I get feedback? And I just do feedback. And sometimes that'll just like spiral and motivate other people to ask for feedback, and we do a feedback session. But it's never planned out. So I should probably try to like deliberately plan out, hey, let's do a feedback session, like, I don't know, every Monday, every Wednesday, something like that. And that would probably be useful because I think having that deadline, that expectation of, oh shit, we're doing a feedback day, that'll be exciting. It's just, I think you also, I need a lot of participants for it to really have that cool atmosphere, but I won't know until I try, you know? Because like a lot of the magic, I think, in those like feedback sessions is there's a lot of people watching, giving feedback with their own perspectives, or just hyping you up or whatever, you know, and then like the possibility of like, yeah, getting exposure and whatnot. I think people find useful. So yeah, I think it would be good. You're supposed to open for Widler in 2020, but you got COVID and had to cancel the gig. That's fucking sucks. Yeah, that is sucks. He's been streaming for a while, as far as I know, but I think I started watching him in like 2022, and then I want to say, yeah, like he stopped streaming like all of 2025, late 2024. Honestly, as long as I've been streaming, I think he's not been streaming. It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want feedback, I do have like a feedback thing in my own Discord. And so I don't know, you can always drop a track in here, and then me and a few other producers will probably give you feedback whenever I'm streaming. If you want feedback right now, like I'd be willing to hear whatever. But like that channel is always there. I'm just thinking like, yeah, maybe like more dedicated events and try to get people to have something to bring that they really want feedback on, or work on something all week to have feedback given like every, you know, as a weekly event. I think that can be a really big motivating factor. We should probably try that out. Yeah. Sounding a little bit better. I just had to boost volume of a couple things. But that sounds like shit now. think I want an auto filter going all squiggly on it. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I want some of this. I want a little bit of that, yeah. Right, and then we can just go. Is it on you? It's on you. Yeah. Yeah, man. No, you get it. Yeah. This is just something Whittler said, do something like this vaguely. I mean, he wasn't saying to use sends, he was saying to bus everything and then like boost stuff, but I'm wondering, I can use sends probably to do like maybe some funny processing. What if we throw Bloom on this thing? Just being extra cheeky, you know. Let's do this one. Really boost the shit up. Back to this. It just sounds too much like it's fucking clipping there, which I don't know. I think that's kind of baked into the sound a little bit. What if we try this? What are we doing over here? Oh. I kind of like that. Wait, you. No, you and you. too many. Oh my god. See, this is the problem. The synth has no, we're in this tune is in 39 notes per octave. And fucking I literally can't shift things up and down an octave here because there's not enough goddamn notes. Not enough notes, man. What? Why is it not? Why does it sound totally different now? This should be oh, read is not synced to the grid. I think that's better. There we go. This is definitely the layer it needed. Absolutely. So we have that. I want to change up this. I like that little bit there is just really good. And then we just want to move these two. Please, please, please. That's all I wanted, man. Please. Okay, and then we mute you, and then we put you there, and then pan. Whoa. Why is this one consistently offset? That's weird. What is this going to do? I like that. Let's just stick in this region. Right? So we can just duplicate no, like that. Why? Why? Why does it get filtered? Why does it get filtered every time? Oh, I'm soloing the wrong thing! That's all I wanted to do, man. That's all. So now we have this, and then let's take you, paste you there, you, paste you there, and then mute that. Let's just make it super crazy. Let's add more of the squigglies. As June said earlier, we've got to hit him with the squigglies again. Yeah, that's what we got to do. Make it go way crazier. What's the added another layer somewhere and it doesn't sound good. I think it's you. I think you are the problem child. Yeah, I think that's too much, man. The idea is pretty good though. Like mix is kind of bad, but that's good. Yeah, I think the idea is good. It's like nice wallpapers. It's like a wait. What? It's like a nice wallpapers pattern. The song? The sound is? Take it. I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah. sounds pretty good, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with it for the most part. Um, I did change up a bunch of levels. I'm not sure if I'm going too overboard with the added synth in this section. I know, right? When I saw Bog 6798, I immediately thought of Mr. Leaky. I was like, oh shit, Mr. Leaky alt, something like that. Okay. What should we do? I don't really want to work on mixing and mastering. Oh, but that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to prepare for a show. We can, what can we do? What can we do? We can just do sound design. Everyone loves doing sound design, right? It's everyone's favorite thing to do. We can mix down songs, I guess. Let's check out this one. Let's see how this one's doing. How's this guy holding up? Kind of tired. It might be a shorter stream than usual. I still haven't watched the new Fallout episode. They finished the season. I got to do that. Oh, it is urgent. It is urgent. Oh, oh god, I'm yawning. I'm yawning up a storm. Save me. But yeah, I'm trying to think. What are urgent songs I do need to work on for this upcoming set? I definitely want this one playable. I'm gonna play it out for sure. It's a fun one. I mean, I don't know. I just played a few other shows and most every song was playable. Oh, I should work on the drum and bass one. I should work on the drum and bass one. Like on the drum and I work on the cipher. I want that to be, I want that to sound a little bit better. I think I can make it better. I've been playing it live and it works, but it could be better. Because I'm probably gonna play that one. I don't know. Maybe improve this one. It's probably good enough. Most of these are fine. Most of them are fine. Here. I was gonna say, wait, no, Leaky, you don't live in Denver. You were in Denver like a couple days before I was at some point. Where do you live? What state are you in? I cannot remember. I feel like I know this. I know it sounds like shit, but it kind of has to, right? It's part of the vibe. Why is it? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Wait, so it's DC off. I'm using bias. There's heavy bias applied to it, and then that creates DC offset. And then now the sound thinks that it has extremely low frequencies. Let's record that out. Cool, and then let's take you and like I don't put you. I feel like the levels are getting jumping around and getting kind of weird. I never played Earthbound. All that I know about Earthbound is the weird, fucking creepy Mr. Potato Head ass things in Super Smash Bros. That you throw at people and they do like nothing. And they're from Earthbound. And Ness, I guess. But mostly just when I think of Earthbound, I just think of the weird as fuck little dudes walking around. They're called Mist or something. That Earthbound has crazy music. Would you recommend the game? Is it worth playing? I feel like it's probably something I'm missing out on from my childhood that may be worth revisiting. Could be cool. a click, and I don't like it. There's a click, and I don't like it. I heard the click for a while. I was just trying to pretend it doesn't exist. Where the fuck is it? It's here, isn't it? It's from that. No? Yeah, Mr. Saturn. Mr. Saturn. For whatever reason, as a kid, Mr. Saturn kind of freaked me out. I don't know. Don't know. Can't explain it. It just did. It just did. Okay, it's from... Oh, it's from you. I'm gonna freak the fuck out. I'm gonna freak the fuck out. What is clicking? What's doing it? I'm removing the kick. I don't know. I just removed the kick and the click is gone. I'm just gonna... There's a riser outside of the riser group making riser sounds. It's outside of the riser group. Yep, it's right there. God damn it. Motherfucker. The worst. I've been EQing out the wrong riser this whole time, man. This whole freaking time. Yeah, Poke-a-Float was amazing. I have vivid memories of playing Poke-a-Float in my daycare when I was like 4 years old. Yeah. Wild. Wild. What? Hold on, I'm fucking zooming through my entire life right now. I'm Benjamin Buttoning. What am I doing? Okay, I feel like the spectral balance of this master isn't great, and maybe we could just correct it with Bloom. I feel like it just needs a little bit of that. I feel like that tiny tweak on the master made this work way better. That's probably good for now. I should probably step away from the song. Probably been mixing it long enough. Probably getting your... Yeah, no, the way I describe my music to people who don't know is it's music for hippies to drop acid to. Yeah, I feel like the outro bit there goes way harder than the rest of the song, but I don't want it to be any other way. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, this song's in 23 Ito, the best tuning of them all. I don't think I have the scale. I don't know where I have the scale fully written out, but we're borrowing a scale from 22 Ito and then fitting it into 23. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I definitely improved the mix and master like a good bit. I don't know. I feel like there's a. It could just be ear fatigue, but I feel like I reached a point with the balance where I was like, all right, it just slaps now. So that's cool. I guess I don't know. We can let's just top off the day. And this is gonna be a shorter stream. Let's top off the day with a little bit of sound design. Could be fun. Could be good. We can explore. Maybe we can explore some of the tunings we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So the main contenders, I think, for the next tuning study, next Ito obsession, is let's just we can make a new thing. So next thing we got a few candidates, right? We got 20 Ito, which is 5 times 4. That's exciting. And then we got 21, which is 7 times 3. So 21 and 20 are kind of opposites in a sense, because 3 relates to your major third, right? Because 3 Ito is 400 cents, you know? Like every single 1/3 is 400 cents. That's your major third, right? So this is 7 rings of 3 Ito, whereas 20 is 4 rings or 5 rings of your minor third of 300 cents, right? Of 4 Ito. So there's 5, or you could think of it as like 5 rings of diminished 7th chords, whereas this is 7 rings of diminished or whatever, augmented triads, which is interesting. And furthermore, 7 and 5 are also opposites from each other in that when we look at this little chart here, right? If you're trying to construct a diatonic scale, if you use the 5 Ito fifth, then you end up creating a ring of 5, and you're kind of stuck in that ring. And if you use a 7 Ito fifth, then you just end up creating a ring of 7 Ito. You don't actually create a diatonic scale. So they're kind of opposites in that sense. One is super sharp, one is super flat. One creates a 5-note ring, one creates a equal ring or whatever, and this other one creates a 7-note one. So both 5 and 4, or both 5 and 7 are opposite from each other in a sense, and 3 and 4 are opposite from each other in a sense. So 20 and 21 are both very, very opposite from each other, which I think is pretty cool. We also have 25. This is another candidate that we're thinking of, which is 5 times 5, which is very weird. So we have the only similarity is also a multiple of 5. There's a bot in my stream. I have to ban it. Gotta ban it. Get the heck out of here. Thank you. And this one's interesting in that, I don't know, it's 5 rings of 5, I guess. It's square. I don't really know of any like interesting tuning theory you could do as a result of this being a square, you know? I mean, we can say, you know, its fifth is going to be divisible by 5, right? I guess that's cool. I don't know. It's like all the notes that are in 5 Ito are split into 5 smaller notes, is one way to look at it. But like it's easy to think of this as, oh, you could think of this as multiple subsets of 3 or multiple subsets of 7. But this is a square. So I don't really know what we could do there. So that's interesting because the goal here is we want to find tunings that are fucking weird that we don't know what to do with, right? So 25 could be interesting in that regard. And that, I don't know, we have a square, right? Like 16 Ito is kind of cool in that, you know, 16 Ito is what, 2 to the 4th power, 2, 4, 8, 16, right? Which is interesting in that, you know, 2 is your tritone, 4 is your, when you cut your tritone in half, right? You can also cut your, that gives you your minor, I'm blanking, that gives you 300 cents your minor third, right? And so 8 would correspond to 150 cents, and then you can keep cutting that in half. So you can think of 16 as you keep cutting your octave in half over and over again, right? Take your tritone, cut it in half, take your minor third, cut it in half, take that, cut it in half. So that's kind of interesting. But we're already very familiar with the tritone and the minor third because it relates to 12 Ito. We're not familiar with divisions of 5 really at all. So I think that is interesting. I don't know what to do with it. This is a big question mark, but things being a big question mark are good in this case because we're trying to find interesting shit out, right? So that's an interesting property of it that we can consider. What other tunings are we trying to think of? 13 and 11 we ruled out. I'm pretty sure we're going to rule out 13 and 11 because it's too small and you can think of it as a you could think of it as like a subset of 22 or 26 Ito. So, oh, don't do that, bud. And then I was thinking about maybe 28, which is 7 times 4, right? Don't have that there, please. This could also be cool in that like 7 times 4, you know, this relates in some ways to 21 and it also relates to 20, right? So like this is the 7 version. I don't know. It takes a quality from both of these and then synthesizes something entirely new. That could be potentially interesting. It's a lot of notes though. Speaking of a lot of notes, we also have 35 Ito because 35, as we were looking at this earlier, 35 Ito would include both your 5 Ito and your 7 Ito because it's 5 times 7. So that is also potentially really cool. It's just a lot of notes, frankly. If it wasn't a lot of notes, I would 100% advocate for it because I think that structure itself is fascinating. It's just a whole lot of notes, and the more notes that an Ito is, the worse it is, right? You want to avoid big notes, big number bad. So 35, too many, but cool. Similarly, 37, same kind of deal. It's too many also, but cool. And cool in different ways. You can think of 37 as basically the 23 Ito of the like next step up of like large-ish tunings or like medium-sized tunings. This one's supposed to be really fascinating because it also like poorly approximates stuff, but it's a lot of notes. I don't want to deal with it, frankly. Like the last song I was working on was in 39, and that was getting really annoying. Still workable? No, not really. Not really. It's very annoying. So I would probably say neither of these are going to get chosen if I had control. Unless 35 is really cool. Unless we find some really cool shit out of 35. So we have 20, 21, 25, 28. 18 is another really cool one, right? This is 6 times 3. It might be cooler than we think. I've made a couple really cool songs in 18 Ito that I like a lot. One really cool factor of 18 is it's a multiple of 6. Therefore, it has a whole tone scale because 6 is your whole tone scale, right? It's your octave or whatever, 12 Ito divided by 2. And so 18 Ito, if you think about the whole tone scale, it's like half of your diatonic scale, right? Lydian, the first 4 notes in Lydian is just the first 4 notes of the whole tone scale. So you could have structures that are very, very similar to diatonic for like the first half. So I found like some really cool scales where, you have like a large, and then like a small step, and then a large step, and then like a medium step or something like that. You can get these like kind of hobbled scales that the first 4 notes are 100% identical to your 12 Ito Lydian scale or 12 Ito diatonic or whatever. And then it gets really fucking weird here. So like it ends up being that your perfect 5th is like super, super flat. And then your major 6th ends up being like perfectly just with like 14 over some other number. It perfectly just with some interesting ratio, and then you have like a really, really small it's actually the other way around. You have a really small leading tone at the end. So each of the tweaks that you have to its structure at the very end ends up being really, really interesting. And that was like honestly the only real bit of theory I did for 18 Ito that I've explored, but I really liked it. My only issue with 18 is it's too similar to 23. At least what I did here, I worked in a similar lens with 23. So the reason why this is too similar to 23 is because 18 is right between 17 and is right between 19, right? And both of these are diatonic tunings. So the way that we analyzed 23 was we were taking advantage of the fact that this was right between 2 other diatonic tunings, which is 22 and 24, right? So a lot of the theory that we came up with 23 is actually going to directly apply to 18 because it can take advantage of the same structural properties. So we wouldn't necessarily be discovering that many new things. We still would discover some new things, and some of it's really cool. And I think 18 is really fucking interesting. But there might be more shit to uncover. It might be a waste of effort or time if we could put it into something more novel or interesting and undiscovered, right? Yeah. Furthermore, other cool ones that are quote unquote weird is 15 and 16. I did talk about 16 a little bit. It's 2 to the 4th power. That's cool. It's well studied already. well studied. There we go. Beautiful. Which is like a good and a bad thing. We're trying to come up with new theories, right? So these are very few notes, right? There's hardly any more than 12 Ito. So that's great. But few notes. It's well studied. This is 3 times 5, which is cool. So this has got your major third, right? This has your minor third. So again, like in the same way that I was saying, oh, 20 and 21 are really interesting. And that is 4. This one's times 4. This one's times 3. This one is times 4. This one's times 3. They have similarities in that they have the similarities in, they have the same intervals as like 12 Ito. They have the same like augmented or diminished chord or whatever. It's very manageable, however, a possible plus. Which one's very manageable? 15 and 16? Yeah, I would say it having few notes is huge. This is a plus. In some sense. It's few notes, but it's still a decent amount. Now, I would say there was also 11 and 13. And 11 and 13, I'm biased against because I haven't really heard a music that I find compelling in it. I've heard like a couple cool songs, but it doesn't feel deep. So I would say, do we just have a text? Can I just, doesn't feel deep. This is way better. Oh my God. How do I make the font bigger? Please. There we go. Oh my God. I could have been doing this the whole time. And it looks like it was handwritten. Anyways, doesn't sound compelling. IMO too small and limiting. That's my impression. Yeah, they're out for me too. However, I mean the argument that it being manageable and small. Well, few notes. That's a plus technically. But limiting. I think it's limiting in its sound. I don't know. I haven't explored it much though. I really haven't. But the few times I have, I was like, this is a fucking nightmare. It just didn't. I just don't think they sound good. I don't know. Maybe there's something cool there. Yeah, 15 I think is too normal, despite it technically being weird. I've heard some pretty normal sounding music, some great sounding music in it. And it would be a good tuning to study. It absolutely would. But I think for the purposes of us trying to like come up with new theory and shit and come up with new ways of analyzing stuff, I think it would probably not be good to look at it because it's well studied. But I do think they're very cool. All right, what are other candidates? We have 20, 21. Did we talk about 25? We did. Yeah, 25 I don't know about. 25 is a big question mark for me. I feel like it might be interesting just because it's 5 squared. It's also another multiple of 5, right? So 20 and 25 are similar. 30. 30 also is like too many notes, I think. It's starting to get big. But 30 is 5 times 6, which means we have a whole tone scale. So this has the same shit from 18, that I was describing, right? We can mimic and create some kind of like fucked up caricature of 12 Ito because it has the whole tone scale in it. And then we have these terrible approximations of like your perfect fifth and stuff. So there is some cool shit in 30. It being a multiple of 6 is really cool, and it's a 5 Ito tuning, so it has the like Blackwood scale and other like properties unique to 5 Ito. So 30, now that I'm thinking about it, 30 might be pretty compelling. Just because it's like the next step up that has that whole tone scale, right? Because yeah, there's 12 Ito, which duh, and then 18 Ito, which we kind of ruled out, and then the next one's 24, which is just 12 again, and then there's 30, right? It's weird, but it's normal as Zen. If there's a normal Toady, 15 would be great for that, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Though I feel like people were, when they were debating it last year, they're saying 15 is too weird. I think a normal tuning is going to be a diatonic one, probably. Like, I'm thinking a normal one would be like 26 Edo or 19 or 31 or something. But those are too normy. I think 26 would be pretty cool. 26 is pretty neat. But yeah, I think multiples of 5 and multiples of 7 really are the way. Oh, we didn't talk about 14. We did not talk about 14 at all. Oh my god, why can't... Can you just go over? Thank you. And then we have 14 Edo. I don't know about 14. I think it sounds bad, frankly. Every time, and I don't know. I mean, I like 7. I think 7 sound good, so like 14 clearly has to be good. And I've only heard a couple pieces in it. I tried to write something in it once and I was like, this is terrible. So I have limited perspective of 14. It's few notes. It is few notes. And it's a multiple of 7. It's not a subset of popular tunings like 22 and 23, right? It would be a subset of 28, and we are kind of considering 28, right? So this is it's a subset of 28, right? Few notes. I should just be writing again. Think it sounds bad. But also, me thinking a thing sounds bad, I think is good reason to pursue it. Right? Because if you think a tuning sounds bad, then you have to fucking get good at composition, get good at figuring out in what cases it sounds good. So, I don't know. It is few notes. We probably want more notes than 14, but I don't know. June says, I wanted to get into Zen harmonic composition, but I feel like I want to just pick one tuning and explore it for years. Is 31 a good option? I've heard some beautiful stuff in that tuning. In my opinion, okay, one, there's like more information on 31 than there is for like almost any other tuning. So that would be helpful. In my opinion, I don't like it very much. I don't really like the sound of it all that much, because I feel like when people use 31, they're trying to do what 12 does, but with a little bit of extra flavor. But it doesn't sound good when you're trying to make it do what 12 does because its fifth is too flat. So like you shouldn't be using it to try to do what 12 does. There's some things that it does really cool. Like it has a really cool 5 large, 1 small scale. And like a lot of other like pretty really interesting structures and stuff, but I think if you really want to explore those other interesting structures, you should just look at different tunings. I don't know. I think it's just overhyped. I think there's just so much content and stuff about it, and I find other ones more interesting personally. Now, that being said, I think 31, it's a good one. It's definitely like one of the go-to, like mathematically, physically, one of the best tunings and more interesting ones for like certain harmonic approximations, interesting chords and stuff. It is a lot of notes, in my opinion. Like I think like once I like 26, I feel like I'm extremely comfortable writing with anything less than 26. Those feel small to me, and I'm working in MIDI, mind you. So like it depends on like how you're working. Once I start going to the 30 plus region, it starts to become a bottleneck in a sense. So that is like a limiting thing. That is a thing to consider. I do think 31, it starts to become a lot of notes if you're like working in MIDI, though it's still manageable. It's still totally doable. But I just think it's a little overrated. And personally, I think if you're gonna explore microtonality and Zen harmonic stuff, go big or go home. Pick something fucked up like 23 Edo. Though that's my own personal philosophy on it. Definitely like unique to me. Some people get into microtonality because they're like, I want to have a harmonic 7th and I want to have really in tune 5ths or major 3rds or whatever. And I'm like, I just want the most fucked up out of tune thing and try to make it pass off as music because that's interesting to me. So everyone has like a different perspective and stuff, you know? Yeah. I would say 28 definitely is interesting. It is pretty close to too many notes. Like I said, I was saying like 26 is around the cutoff for me. So like 28, Also, too many? Question mark? Yeah, and I think these are all the weird ones. Also deeply entrenched in 12 and have a lot of vocabulary in that tuning, want to be able to carry it over. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I would say there's that vocabulary also would carry over to 19 and 17. And you know what I would recommend is just listen to pieces in those tunings, and I would say start off with something small. Start off with something like 17 or 19 because it's going to be easier to write in than in 31, and you can dip your toes into it and dip your toes into what sounds are available and then work your way up. And I don't know, they all have different flavors and stuff like that. It's kind of like different scales, and it isn't. If you get really good at 17, there's going to be transferability to 31. It's not like you're going to be only good at that one thing, I guess, unless you're like playing a fucking 17 tone equal guitar or something like that. Then yeah, you probably have to like build different muscle memory. I don't fucking know, but I think you should explore a few different tunings and dip your toes into what you like the sound of, because I didn't know what I would like the sound of initially. And I think 17 sounds amazing. I don't know. I would say explore tunings explore some sharp fifth tunings and explore flat fifth. That's what I would recommend, because basically, I don't know if you're here when we were looking at this, but this is like the periodic table of Itos, depending on how sharp or flat the fifth is. So this is the 12 Ito fifth, it's 700 cents. Everything about this way is sharper, everything this way is flatter, right? So when you go flat, then it has flat fifth tunings have their own unique sound to it. There we fucking go, Stickbug. Champion of the people. So anyways, 31, it has a flat fifth. 19 has a flat fifth. 26 has a flat fifth, and so on. So these have their own unique sound. So I would recommend try out something from over here and try out something from over here, because they're very different. They're very different from each other. It's structurally, like how the scales feel, the step ratio of the scales when you're in like sharp tunings, the step ratio for like your diatonic scale gets really big. Like for 22, it's a 4:1 ratio. So your small step is very small compared to your large step, and that ends up sounding kind of fucked in certain ways, and has really interesting like psychoacoustic properties, and like melodic contour can sound different. And then the flatter you go, the more they become like each other. So like 19 is a 3:2 ratio of large to small, and so they start to become closer and closer to being equal. And the flatter you go, eventually it becomes 7 Ito, right? They end up becoming so close together. Like 31, I want to say is like 5:3 or something like that, and then 26 is like 4:3, and then eventually if you go to like 9 or like 10:9 or some shit, that's very, very close to 1:1, right? The ratio. And once it becomes 1:1, then it becomes 7 Ito. So like having that structure, that thing in mind, I think is interesting. Just understand the differences between all these tunings, and then just learning what the sound of them are. So 19 is going to sound pretty similar to 26 and to 31, right? That's how you categorize these. That's how you figure out what are these going to sound like. So the ones I'm most interested in right now, the ones that we're talking about right now, basically do not include anything inside this box here. We're talking about things that are right on this boundary, multiples of 7, multiples of 5, and things that are outside of it. So 23 is outside of it, right? 23 right here and right here. So 23 has 2/5, one that's really, really flat and one that's super, super sharp. So that's what I'm interested in right now and what we're talking about. But yeah, that's my advice. I'll just play around with a couple different tunings and see what you really like, and then once something captivates you, then dive into it. Like me, I shopped around for a long time and just tried out different stuff, and eventually I really liked the sound of 23, and then I just dove into it, and that ended up teaching me a bunch of like compositional stuff. But I don't know. It's up to you. Those are my thoughts. Okay. Question 1: do we like 5s or 7s? That is the question. Yeah. Question 2: should we use a regular size crazy Itos or too many notes, Crazy Edos? That is okay. That is a good question. So, I mean, I would say, okay, I need to organize this better. You go over here. We'll just delete that. We'll delete that. 37, you go over here. Oh, and then 30. 30 is also cool. 30, you go over here. So I would say this is the cutoff for too many notes. I would say here's the cutoff for too small notes. Right? This is small. Oh god. Big. Right? And I think we're going to rule out everything over here. 15 and 16 for different reasons, but I think we're going to rule out everything over here. 14 is kind of interesting. I don't know, but they're all small amounts of notes. And yeah, so like I think realistically you're probably going to pick something from in here. I mean, we've been talking about 20, 21 and 25 mostly, it seems. But I have now that I'm thinking about it, 31 is pretty cool. 28 is also pretty cool. I'm gonna add just a plus sign. And then 35 is also pretty cool, but it is a lot of notes. 37 I'm less interested in. I've heard a lot of really good things about 37, but it's a fuck ton of notes, and also it does have a lot of interest in it already. It's already well studied, right? And we're not interested in well studied things. So I'm gonna tentatively, I'm just gonna say we're not doing that one, and then we're not doing any of these probably. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing these, I think. 18 potentially. I'm not gonna cross off 18 yet. Just because I already have theory I can apply to 18 doesn't mean that there's more theory that we can uncover about it. Though if we want to explore 18 and we want to get weirder, I do think 30 would be cool. Just because 18 is a multiple of 6, 30 is a multiple of 6. So those properties carry over. I don't know, could be interesting. I mean, we could also still analyze 30 because 30 is right in between 29 and 31, right? So this still has dual fifth properties as a result. And you can treat it as like, you can use like hobbled scales because it's in between two adjacent well-studied tunings. And so there's a lot of cool shit there. I mean, honestly, same thing with 26. 26 is in between 24 and 25, right? So that would apply there. The only ones where it doesn't apply would be 20 and 21, right? 21's next to 22, which is well-studied, but it's next, the other thing is next to is 20, and that's not well-studied. So like we know how 19 works, so you can try upscaling some of it to 20 structurally, not intonation wise, tuning wise it'll sound like shit, but like structurally there's scales we can try upscaling in interesting ways. And then for 21 we can try downgrading from 22. So these two I would say are the weirdest. If we are going for the weirdest shit, these two are probably it. Yeah, 28's in between 27 and 29, and those are diatonic. Yeah, so 20 and 22 are the weirdest. Weirdest. Look at this handwriting. Beautiful. Yeah, I still have not decided on which one of these I like more whatsoever. I think I'm a little bit more interested in multiples of 5 than I am in multiples of 7. But I feel like that also is an argument for why I should explore multiples of 7 more. Just because I feel like they have less interest, you know? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm gonna call the stream. I don't know if we really came to any big conclusions here. I think we kind of thought about all the tunings that are quote-unquote weird that might be feasible to do or work on or think about. We're not going to do any of the small ones, probably. And if we do a big one, we'll probably do 30. Maybe 35. I'd have to think about 35 more. I think 18 is still cool. And then 20, 21, 25, 28. So probably is this group here. Maybe. Probably crossing out 18. Maybe. Just because I feel like 18 is really similar to 23. But probably crossing out 20 or 18. Yeah, no. We're just going to stick to multiples of 5 and 7, I think. I think that's really what we're going to do. It just seems like the way everything's multiple of 5 or 7, and then it's just like another dual fifth Ito. If we want to explore this multiple of 6 property, then we should look at this one. Yeah. Excellent. You gotta expand that gray matter. Make brain big. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm heading out. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go watch the fucking finale of Fallout, and hopefully it's good. It probably will be. It's been mostly good.